Brian, thank you so much, sir, for joining us to talk about the latest out of Montana.
My pleasure. Happy to be here as always.
I
Wish it was under a little different circumstances, but that's life in politics.
Yeah, no kidding. Is it fair to call this a surprising veto of House Bill 271, the permitless carry legislation?
Yes, I was surprised. The governor has supported our issues in the past, whether that's because he truly believes it or because he's a political animal. I can't tell you for sure, but I did think that he would support this bill. It's a very, very moderate bill, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is. I mean, we've talked with Representative Creighton Kearns, the author of this bill, on several occasions. And, for folks who don't understand what the law currently is in Montana, basically the state already has permitless carry outside of incorporated areas.
That's correct. In about 99.4% of the state, which is outside city limits, any person who can lawfully possess a firearm can carry it concealed. When you get up to that city line, you can't carry over the line. You're okay on one side of the line, not okay on the other. And one other point is, on the other side of the line in the cities, you can carry openly. Anybody who can lawfully possess a firearm can carry openly. So all this bill does is allow you to put on a coat when you're inside city limits.
Wow. Now, have we heard anything from the governor's office as to why he vetoed this?
Yeah, he issued a veto statement this morning, and it's staggering how factually deficient this thing is. He didn't get anything right. It was quite astounding.
Oh, really? So what were his? What were some of the things that he got wrong, Brian?
Well, one thing he said in his veto statement is that obviously, he said, this bill would greatly imperil the work and safety of Montana's lawmen, including sheriffs and highway patrolmen. Now, wait a minute. Sheriffs, they generally cover the unincorporated area.
Right.
Where this has been the law for 20 years. But funny thing, they haven't been imperiled for the last 20 years. So, I mean, it's just a nonsensical, non-factual statement. He also discussed the problems that this bill would cause for gun owners, for permit holders, because under existing Montana law, there's a lot of states recognize Montana's permits, and of course the Montana permit exempts you from the NICS check. Mm-hmm. So the governor said that this bill would dismantle many reasonable Montana laws and regulations which ensure that permit holders are not unduly burdened. For example, House Bill 271 would void our state's reciprocity agreements with more than 30 states. Wrong.
Wow.
It would have no impact on Montana's reciprocity agreements. But he also said it would void our laws that allow Montana permit holders to forego the background check required for a firearm purchase. Wrong again. It has no impact on the concealed weapon permit process whatsoever. It's just completely wrong. So either the governor is getting very, very bad information from staff who are either incompetent or they're lying or I don't know what else.
Yeah. As you say, I mean, the governor of the past has supported a lot of Second Amendment legislation. This, what you're telling me, the veto statement sounds like something you would have heard from, Governor Doyle and former Governor Doyle in Wisconsin, or maybe the governor of Massachusetts, not the the governor of Montana, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, well, like I said, what's particularly staggering is how inaccurate everything is.
Yeah.
I mean, none of the facts are correct. It's like he never even read the bill. So it's hard to analyze when everything the governor said is inaccurate.
Wow. So I mean, what happens next? Is there going to be time for a veto override session, or does this have to wait for the next legislative session, Brian?
This is going to have to wait because we could try to run a veto override.
Yeah.
We could perhaps get it in the House, but there's no way we would get it in the Senate.
Okay.
The only point of running a veto override would be to get a vote, a vote determination, see who's where. But we already know where everybody is because they've already voted on the bill, a number of times.
Right.
So I don't anticipate there's going to be a veto override effort because it would just be a waste of time, and it's very difficult when they're out of session, which the Montana legislature is. They would have to poll everybody by mail, and it would just be a huge undertaking, and we know how the vote would end up. So we're just going to have to come back in 2 years when actually there will be a different governor.
And that's when Governor Schweitzer's term is up 2 years from now?
Yeah. He will not be running in 2012.
Okay. Well, Brian, in the meantime, what should gun owners in Montana be doing? Should they be writing their state representatives, their state senators, if they supported this measure and thanking them, or what should they be doing?
Well, what they should do right now, actually, is call the governor's office and express their disappointment and express how frustrated they are that nothing he said in his veto statement was factual.
All right.
I can give you the governor's office.
Sure.
It's area code 406-444-3111.
All right. Brian Judy, again, thank you so much for coming on the program. It is disappointing news from Montana. I guess if there's one bit of, I won't even say silver lining, Brian, if there's one thing you can take comfort, it sounds like there have been dozens of other bills that Governor Schweitzer has vetoed this legislative session, so it's not like permitless carry the only one to get the governor's veto.
Yeah, what could have happened is just could have gotten buried in the whole partisan wrangling, because it's been a pretty nasty session with Republicans taking over, and the governor didn't get what he wants, so he's throwing hissy fits, and our bill got mixed up in it.
Well, the right to keep and bear arms, as you and I both know, not a partisan issue. I think it applies no matter what your political affiliation, or if you don't have a political affiliation at all, it's still your right. It's just a shame that apparently the governor didn't see it that way.
Yeah, and then let me add one thing. You are absolutely correct generally, but in Montana, that's for the most part not the case. I can only think of less than a handful of Democrats that supported this bill. We're going to be doing an analysis, but I think that probably over 95% of the votes in support of House Bill 271 were Republicans. Probably no more than 5, 2 or 3 maybe, Democrats who supported this bill.
Interesting.
So in this case, in Montana, the governor went with the legislative Democrats on this issue and vetoed the bill.
Wow. Well, Brian, again, sir, I'm glad you could join us this afternoon, and I look forward to talking again, hopefully with some happier news in the very near future.
Yep, well, always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Brian Judy, NRA ILA's Montana State Liaison, joining us here on NRAnews.com.